I am getting ready to go to a gig I picked up, and I don't. So I'm working for this really neat lady that I just met, and helping her to organize her space, and we're getting to know one another. And she's 74. Okay, so we're more than 30 years apart in age, but we have so much in common as far as our life experiences go. More than any person I've ever met in my life. Like, strange, uncommon things like her father tried to murder her, my father tried to murder me. Her birthday is September 29th, my birthday is September 28th. Her younger brother dealt with a very challenging health issue. My brother deals with the same challenging health issue, my younger brother, and we're very close. Her brother was an artist. My brother is an artist. Her father was an alcoholic, extremely abusive. So was mine. Um, like a lot of things. Um, so I've been thinking about, we've been talking about our childhoods, and it never really dawned on me that until in this moment, like I actually have zero memories of zero. I don't have one memory, a positive memory of my mother and I doing something together one on one, like her making special time for me. Now, that is not to say it never happened, but I highly doubt it. I have no memory of it, and that's just not the way we operated in our dynamic. It wasn't special, and I always knew my mother didn't want me. My mother was one of those regretful parents, insofar as I went, and that was never kept a secret from me. It was known that I was an accident. I was told repeatedly by both of my parents this story. They each had their own story of what their life would have been like had I not come into it. My mother was going to be a model. My father was going to be a professional basketball player, and I fucked it all up. That was the message. So that fucked me up for a long time. I would get up every morning and make them coffee. I would clean the house. I would pick my mother wildflowers every day, just trying to get her love and attention. And I wanted so badly for my mother to love me. And my mother, she did not even like me, much less love me. And I mean, I have actually a lot of compassion for that, because that must really, like, as a mother that that's not right. Like the wrestling that must have gone on inside of her. And I know that her sister actually told me when I was in my 30s, and she's repeatedly told me, although I could have lived without knowing this, but I think she was just trying to confirm that I'm not crazy and that my experience was real, which is a good thing because I was gaslit my whole life. But she told me that my mother used to call her when I was an infant, crying and saying, why don't I feel anything for my child? Why don't I feel love for my child? And children know that. We had no bond. We never bonded. And so because of that, in trying to have that bond that couldn't have with my mother, I tried to make it with other people. And I tried to work out all of my mommy issues with other women who I dated. And that's what most of us do, I think, when we have parental issues, when we have that sort of wounding, we, in our most intimate relationships, try to work that out if we're not able to work it out with the actual people that we had the original issue with. It fucked me up for a long time, and that was my work to do. And I tried for a long time to do that work with my mother, and that slowed me down because she wasn't willing. She didn't want to face it. She wanted to project it all onto me and make it all my problem, and I was born broken, and and I was the scapegoat in the family, and I wanted so badly to have a family. I couldn't. It was so hard for me to accept that this is my reality, that my family doesn't want me, that they're always going to make me the problem. That's my role. And I fought it and I fought it and I tried to convince them and I tried to prove myself and like, oh, look at this accomplishment. Am I worthy now? And nothing I ever have done has ever been acknowledged or praised, or they don't even see. My mother and my father never saw me. They never listened to me. They never respected me as an individual. They saw me as an extension of themselves, and an extension of themselves that they hated. I was like this abyss that they just dumped all of those aspects of themselves they could not stand to look at onto me and say, you're the problem. That's what a scapegoat is. And at 40, I had a mental breakdown. I spiraled completely out of control because I made one last ditch effort to go to my mother and say, look, I keep repeating all of these things that happened to me in childhood with my most intimate partners, with my friends, and I'm burning all these bridges. I keep hurting myself and other people because of what is not worked out between us. Can we please work on this? Can we go to a counselor? Nope. Get your shit together. This is your problem, not mine. I got things to do. That sent me spiraling. Okay. But I realized at that moment, this is my work to do. I can't let someone else's unwillingness to engage with reality stop me from growing. So I had to cut my mother out. I had to let her go, and I had to walk through that fire alone. And it's scary and it's hard. But I did it. And you can do it too. Don't let other people slow you down. If you have to cut people out, cut them out. Sometimes that's the most loving thing you can do.